At Sia's sudden request, the driver stops the car. Along with that, all the bodyguard-filled vehicles running behind and in front of them, which were there to protect them, also come to a halt. The driver and the human, all three, look toward Siya. Siya, making a very cute face, gestures outside. When the three look outside, they see an old woman selling lilies. Then they all look back at Siya once. Siya says, "Grandpa loves these flowers a lot because they were Grandma's favorite. He always says that whenever he sees these flowers, he remembers Grandma's smiling face. That's why I want them." Hearing her, the driver and the human look ahead, and Siya gazes at them with the innocence of the whole world and twinkling stars in her eyes. But our human remains a tough guy, completely unmoved. Seeing this, Siya grabs his hand and pulls him, saying, "I want them, you grumpy." She keeps repeating this, and the human simply says, "All right." As soon as she hears this and is about to open the door to get out, the human stops her and gestures to Dhruv, who is sitting in front. As soon as he gets the signal, Dhruv quickly gets out of the car and heads towards the old woman. After a while, Dhruv returns with a bunch of lilies in his hand and hands them to Siya. Seeing so many flowers, Siya becomes happy. But her smile widens even more when she sees a big smile on the old woman's face as well. After that, they all continue on their way. A little later, the car in front slowly moves to the side, and the car in which Siya and the human are sitting moves ahead. The car that was moving to the side joins the line of bodyguards behind. They were doing this perfectly, as if it was a habit for them and a very common thing. This all happened because they had reached in front of the Rao mansion. Seeing their convoy of cars, the guard standing at the gate quickly opens the large entrance gate, as they did not have the courage to stop the Bahaj family's vehicles. Along with this, some bodyguard cars and the human's car enter inside, while a few other cars stop outside. Once inside, they all line up. First, all the bodyguards come out and survey the surroundings. After that, Dhruv is the first to step out, along with the driver. At this moment, Siya and the human were in the car. She looked a little nervous and anxious. After all, why wouldn't she be? She was standing there where her most terrifying and bitter memories were associated. But more than all this, one thing was bothering her, which was the human not coming with her. In fact, the human had only come to drop her off here. He had no interest in meeting the Rao family, and he had made this clear to Siya as well. Siya had tried very hard to convince him, but the human was the human. He did not agree. Siya was still trying to persuade him. Seeing this, the human looks at her and, placing his hand on her cheek, explains, "I know I promised you that I would be with you in every situation, but that doesn't mean you should depend on me for everything. You need to learn to face your fears, your painful memories, and your enemies on your own. You have to learn to respond to them. Whether I am with you or not, you have to do this. Always remember this. Try, and if you feel you can't do it, then I will definitely come to help you, but not before you try." Then, ruffling her hair, he says, "I will come to pick you up in the evening, all right? Now go, Mr. Old will be waiting for you." Hearing this, Siya initially feels a bit sad, but somewhere, she also finds the human's words to be right. Therefore, despite her reluctance, she agrees, and taking one last look at the human, gets out of the car. As she gets out, she doesn't forget to take the bucket and flowers that the human had brought along. After she gets out and until she enters her house, the human stays there. After that, he orders some bodyguards to stay there and leaves with only Dhruv and the driver. The Rawat family had received news of their arrival. Everyone was well prepared and standing to welcome them. It would be wrong to say that all of them were there for Siya. They were there for the human. Among them, 2 people were the most excited, Mrs. Rao and Rajini. At this time, they had prepared Rajini very well, because she also knew how much the state liked the human. Therefore, she had dressed Rajini up nicely and had given her many instructions. But their hopes were dashed when they saw Siya coming in alone. Everyone was reminded of the time when Siya had first come there. That time was a significant difference, where Siya had previously walked with scared eyes, looking around and keeping her head down, her feet trembling. Today's Siya walked in with her head held high, full of confidence. At this moment, she held a bucket in one hand and flowers in the other. She walked straight in and began to look around. Everyone was well aware of the change happening in Siya, but one thing was bothering them. Her eyes, which were like those of a stranger looking at an unknown man. They were exactly the same. Everyone was unable to tolerate Sia's behavior. They felt that Siya was doing this just to get their attention. But when a person is getting attention and still behaves like this, the other party should understand that they are overestimating themselves, and as a result, they are bound to face embarrassment in the future. But something similar was happening with all of them now. Mr. Rao, a quintessential businessman type, ignored all these things and stepped forward saying, "Siya, you have come." Then he looks behind him, as if he is waiting for someone. Seeing this, Siya gives him a strange look, and then looks around once more. Just then, her gaze stops at one place. When the three brothers feel Sia's gaze on them, for some reason they feel a lot of joy. It was something Siya had done before. Whenever she was coming down, her eyes would search for her brothers. And today, too, it felt like something similar. But Siya seemed to have taken a vow to embarrass them all. She says, "Uncle, where is Grandpa?" Hearing this question, the caretaker and former secretary of Grandpa, who were standing a little distance away, say respectfully, "Little mistress, he is waiting for you in his room right now." Hearing this, Siya just smiles slightly at them and heads straight towards a room on the ground floor. During this, she didn't even make an effort to acknowledge anyone and went straight away. What they all had prepared to say remained as it was. It was like students had prepared thoroughly for their exam, but the teacher didn't conduct the exam. Siya stands in front of a large room. She is unable to open the door due to the heavy load of items in her hands. Seeing this, a servant passing by quickly comes forward and opens the door for her. Seeing this, Siya just nods her head and enters the room. Inside, her grandfather is lying on the bed. There are machines around him, connected to his hand and chest. Hearing a sound, he opens his eyes, and seeing Siya in front of him, tears well up in his eyes, and a drop of tear rolls down. Seeing this, Siya quickly sets aside the items she brought and rushes to his side. Grandpa also tries to lift himself up. Seeing this, Siya first helps him sit comfortably and then hugs him. During this, she makes sure that Grandpa does not feel any discomfort. Both of them, holding each other, are slowly crying. The joy of meeting after so many days and the sorrow of parting are all visible. After that, Siya pulls back a little from Grandpa and wipes his tears. Then, picking up a glass of water placed nearby, she gives him water to drink. Once both of them are a little calm, Siya thinks for a moment and extends the flowers she brought to Grandpa. Seeing the flowers, a smile like that of a small child appears on Grandpa's face. Seeing this, Siya also smiles. After that, they talk about various things for a while, but Grandpa cannot continue this for long and asks, "Child, will you tell your grandpa everything? What happened? How did you end up with Mr. Bajaj? What was all this, child?" Hearing this, Siya becomes a little emotional but controls her emotions and slowly starts to tell him everything. In all this, she also tells Grandpa how she was tortured in the hospital and how, when she was escaping from there, the humans saved her and took care of her, and now she is living with him. She also mentions how well everyone at the humans' place treats her and loves her. Hearing her words, Grandpa feels both relieved and sad that the love and affection she should have received here were being given to her by strangers, while her own people were not considering her their own. He lovingly says, "Oh, my child, forgive me. This old man could not protect you. I brought you here to give you all the happiness, love, and belonging in the world, but because of me, you received a lifetime of sorrow, pain, and loneliness. Please forgive me." In response, Siya holds his hands and says, "Grandpa, please don't say that. It's not your fault at all. And now I am very happy where I am. You know, I have given the entrance exams for the university. The results will come tomorrow. I will definitely tell you about it." Thus, the two of them continued to talk for hours. After a while, when Siya saw that Grandpa needed rest, she told him to sleep. But Grandpa was not agreeing, so Siya scolded him a little and made him lie down. Then, after thinking for a moment, she quietly came out of Grandpa's room and, going down the stairs, headed towards where her old room was. That room was nothing special. It had all normal things, mostly things that Regini had used or things that Regini did not like, whether it was furniture or clothes. When Siya enters the room, all her bitter memories start swirling in front of her eyes like a picture, but she clenches her fist, takes a deep breath, and controls her emotions. At this moment, her eyes reflected the hatred, anger, and desire for revenge of the whole world. Therefore, she controls herself and her emotions. Suddenly, she remembers something and quickly moves forward to open a large cupboard there. Inside, there were many things, like some clothes worn by Raya, shoes, and a few other items. But among all of them, there was a small chest. Seeing it, a smile appears on Sia's face, and she quickly takes it out. She sits on the small single bed there and opens it. It had a numbered password lock, which only Siya knew. As soon as the lock opens, there are many small items inside, like a cute old teddy bear, a photo album, 2 old dresses. But they were clean, 2 books, a diary, some hair clips that were very cute and looked like adorable cartoons, and some shiny stones and some shells found in the sea. All of this was what Siya had brought with her when she came from the orphanage. It was her little belongings, very close to her heart. Along with it were very sweet, bittersweet memories. She picks up the photo album kept there and starts looking at the pictures. The photo album contained small pictures of Siya from her childhood until she left the orphanage. Some lovely, beautiful moments that she had lived, stolen, and enjoyed while staying there. In many, Siya was playing, and in some, she was making something. In some pictures, Siya was collecting seashells at the beach, and in others, she was dancing in the rain with the children. In some, everyone was sitting together celebrating her birthday. Looking at all these memories, recalling them, tears welled up in Sia's eyes. While looking at the album, she said, "I wish I had never decided to come here. If I had never been tempted by the love of a family, by the allure of my wings, maybe my life would have been different today. Incomplete, yes, but it would have been mine. In that life, even though I had more than enough shortcomings, there was a peace, a calmness that is not present in this life. I miss all of them so much, and I get angry at myself. Because of that one wrong decision, look at what I have become today." While lost in all these thoughts, talking to herself, she lost track of time. Her attention broke when she felt a vibration in her smartwatch. When she looked at the watch, there was a message from Manav. He was coming to pick her up soon. Reading this, Siya quickly gathered all the items and placed them in one spot. She had decided that she would take them with her when she left. After thinking this, Siya set it aside and went to Grandpa's room to tell him that she was leaving now. When Grandpa found out that she was leaving, he insisted on coming down to see her off. And finally, sitting in a wheelchair, he managed to come down. When she came downstairs, everyone was sitting in the hall, drinking tea. The 3 brothers were sitting on one sofa. Mr. Rao was on a single sofa, and on the other side, Mrs. Rao and Ragini were sitting on a sofa. As Siya was about to turn and leave after saying goodbye to Grandpa, Mishra stopped her and said, "You will stay here. You are not going anywhere." Hearing this, Sia's steps towards the exit automatically halted. She turned back and started looking at them with a dangerous glare, as this was no longer bearable for Siya. Siya had been quiet because those people had not tried to disturb her. That's why she remained calm. But now the same things were left incomplete again. Siya looks at them and says, "Mishra, you really need to get yourself treated. And if that's not possible, then do one thing, don't come in front of me, because I absolutely dislike repeating myself. And the reason that makes me have a fit, you make me very angry. So please." Before she could say anything further or move ahead, the guards standing at the door quickly shut the door, and some servants stepped forward to stand around Siya. Mishra smiles at Siya and says, "You girl, staying with Mr. Bajaj, you have really come out of your shell. Never mind, I will teach you well how to talk to elders, how to behave with them." Then, looking at the servants, she says, "Take her to her room, and until she comes to her senses, no one will take her out of the room. Lock her room from the outside and bring the key to me." Hearing this, everyone standing there was stunned. None of them had any idea that Mrs. Rao would say or do something like this.